Minister Sekuri, from your perspective, what is one of the key advances linked to Convention number 182, and what measures should be taken to improve implementation of both of the child labour conventions? You have the floor.
Thank you, and thanks to the audience and the speakers. I'd like to start with a personal note. 25 years ago, I was part of what we call in Morocco the Parliament of Children, a non-governmental organization chaired by Her Royal Highness Princess Lala Miriam. And I started at the time discovering the culture of children's rights. And since Morocco is one of the countries who worked a lot on children's rights, in 25 years we managed to decrease children labor by 94%. And today, less than 1.4% of the working force is children. And those who work, by the way, are not necessarily working in companies or with any kind of forced labor, but they just help their families in rural areas punctually with a couple of tasks. I think that we're all engaged for the eradication of children labor. It's important for our societies, for our communities, to be clear with the next generations and to make it clear that the place for children is school. But to do so, a country, a government has to be very up to the point in terms of mechanisms, strategies and tools. The first thing we did in 2011 is to clearly state in the Moroccan Constitution, Article 32, I think, that the government, the state, provides protection for all the citizens, including especially children, in order for them to live a normal life, a life of a child. I agree with those who just intervened and saying that the question of children is not just a question of, it's not an aesthetic question, it's a fundamental question for our societies. I think that when you have a national integrated strategy, and we delivered one in Morocco, we managed to have this decrease, this phenomenal decrease in terms of labor work for children. But still, there are 2 or 3 major things that we're doing and we still need to progress or to enhance. The first one is vocational training, and the second one is to address all those who can leave school. One of the major actions that we're studying today is to provide direct support for families. His Majesty launched a program for 3.5 million families, 12 million people, 5 million children with direct aid, in order to make sure that these families have a direct aid so that their children don't go to work and they, at the opposite, go to school. The second thing is, of course, generalizing, of course, school access with the generalization of the primary and the pre-primary level. And in this perspective, we developed a very particular model that addresses today millions of Moroccans so that we could bring the age of preschool from 5 to 4, which is a tremendous effort. But it's not just a legislation dimension, it's a practical dimension with means, strategies and budgets. Vocational training is important, but the problem with vocational training is that those who get support need to have a high school degree. So what we're working on today is to foster apprenticeship and to provide subsidies for those who couldn't manage to have a high school degree. And we have today something like 30,000 people per year, and we have a program to scale it to 100,000 people. These are in general between 16 and 18 years old, and they are covered for a couple of jobs by the convention. I want to finish by saying that when you generalize social protection and you provide family allowances, especially for those who don't have wages and revenues, more than 12 million people do benefit today in Morocco from these family allowances, even if they don't have revenues. So we managed to have a solidarity system that provides money to these people. When you launch a program for housing that costs $1 billion a year, when you launch a program for direct aid for families with very low revenues, and when you renegotiate in your social dialogue a program that costs more than $3 billion, this is how you enhance the quality of life of families so that the children do not go to work. And in addition to that, of course, you reinforce the scrutiny and control of labor inspectors. We have 500 labor inspectors with very important rules, and we sensitize the companies, the Moroccan companies, also to be sure that if there is any problem with children labor, the measures are very, very hard. I don't want to last more, but all I want to say is that there is a need for a legislative framework. There is a need for close work with the judiciary system, and we have agreements on that way to signal the people and to signal those who might jeopardize children's lives. And three, of course, you need absolutely to implement voluntary policies, and these policies need to be funded. Thank you for your attention.
وما تنسوش تابوناو معنا فلاشين وتتابعونا على مواقع التواصل الاجتماعي.